Hello, friends. We're live. This is episode 84. We're going live for 100 days straight, and we can't wait to get this one started. Do thank you for joining, and tonight we're going to talk about some stocks and at least one cryptocurrency that we're really keen on, bearish on, and just want to share that with you, and I'm gonna let people get connected here. Would like to hear if you're enjoying the background music. If I stop talking for a while, I know you'll be able to hear it. That's from Upbeat, UPP, upbeat.io. If you're a content creator or just want to have some fun background music, then you can use that service to do that. Gonna have to fix that chair to where it doesn't do that. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna talk about two different stocks, probably a third that I didn't plan on talking about, and then Dogecoin, which is a cryptocurrency. So the title tonight was Dogecoin to the moon. So that has become the rally cry of so many because of a tweet from Elon Musk where he said that he was going to take a literal Dogecoin to the literal moon. So we'll see if that ever happens, but it's certainly been something that everyone, all the fans of Dogecoin have jumped on board and just run with that. So what I want to first do is we're going to go to NEO here, which is our first stock that we want to talk about. Now, NEO is a EV company or electronic vehicle company. I'm not sure that everyone considers it a competitor of Tesla, but it's a Chinese-based company, and they're more in the luxury area from what I understand for the most part. So certainly Tesla has that market, but they also have the the market where the average quote unquote person can also get an electronic vehicle. But let's talk about NEO for a moment. So NEO is at 38.48, but as you can see here, the 52-week range has been as low as $2.88 and as high as $66.99. So we'll just call it $67. So it's right at about half of what its 52-week high has been. So the thought is, after listening to a number of folks on YouTube, CNBC, analyst reports, all the things, that this is a great time to get into NEO, a good opportunity to buy. It's up $1.34 today, or 3.6%. I've done some models here that I'm going to share with you here in just a minute of some possibilities given a particular level of investment, something you may want to look into. But let's also go to Palantir first and show you that before we get to the model. So again, take into consideration here with NEO that it's at 38.48, up $1.34 today, 3.6%, but it's got a lot of headroom to make it back up to the 52-week high. And I'll go ahead and share, spoiler alert, one of the analyst pages that I went to has it much higher than that, considerably higher than that, at least by the end of this year, and higher 2022, and even higher in 2023. So it becomes really an issue of how long are you willing to keep your money tied up in this particular stock. And that's not to say that you wouldn't want to take some profit along the ride if you decide that this is a stock for you. And I should say, by the way, goes without saying, I think, but it's important maybe to say it. Should not be seen as financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not an investment professional. This is more for entertainment and for education. Obviously, seek professional advice. Do your own research as well. But you can at least know that these are things that I'm truly interested in, and potential investments for me. I am in Neo at a very with only like four stocks, or four shares, I should say. So the next one, let's go to Palantir, and the stock ticker for that is PLTR. So we're going to pull that up so I can share with you today. So that's up today a little bit more than Neo at 25.42 today. $2 basically up. $2 percentage wise, though, it's up almost 9%. So that's a good return in one day. There is some after hours trading. I'm not so interested in that. I honestly don't understand after hours trading with regards to, I'm not 100% certain what the window is, as I've said on a couple of different live streams in the most recent past. Last week, been out of the game with regards to the stock market, was never really in the game with cryptocurrency, but I am back, and going to make this a regular part of live streaming at times, talk about, and you'll start seeing a theme that, of course, a lot of the stocks that I'm going to be talking about are in the technology sector in one way or another. Technology is one of our big focuses, as you know. So this should be just right up most people's alley if they're interested in technology. Palantir, 52-week range, similar to Neo in the sense that the low end is relatively low at almost $9, and then a high of 45. So again, roughly, not exactly, but it's almost at half of its 52-week high. So again, this is a very, very interesting company, one of the premier companies providing data services, cryptology, all kinds of different things. I'm just starting to get to know this company, so definitely look it up and do some of your own research as well. But they're in the process of getting some of the highest level security you can get with the U.S. government, which means in some cases they may be the only company that will qualify for some of these government contracts. They just signed a $90 million contract of some sort, and so they work a lot with the government. They're actually apparently working with the IRS to help track Bitcoin usage to try to curb on tax evasion. So don't go use your Bitcoin, or don't go buy and sell it without properly recording, because the director of the IRS, or whatever they call the person that leads the IRS, he literally said today, don't do it because we are watching. But we all knew, right, that the IRS was watching, so that should not surprise you. Volume 81 million, so that's quite a few shares trading in one day. Average of 87 million, so it was down a little bit from the average. No dividend to speak of. I think this 1 year target estimate is probably low. I doubt that it's gonna only move up, roughly $2 between now and the end of the year. I think that's way understated, but do some more research. I highly suggest it. The other one I'm going to bring up is Tesla. Should be no surprise to anyone here watching this who Tesla is. In other words, another electronic vehicle company. Of course, they're into more things than that. Battery technology, solar, SpaceX, of course. So space exploration. they've got, and it's just escaping me right now, but they have a low orbit, low latency, satellite-based internet service that I think is going to be great if you're in a rural area. It's well suited for that. It's not as well suited for high density populations, but nonetheless, I think that's actually something as well that I will definitely be looking into. If you'd like to hear more about that, let me know in the comments, and I would love to talk about that some more. But let's talk about Tesla, up $60 today. Crazy. I owned a fractional share. I don't even remember. It was just such a fraction that I don't remember, but I had a fractional share. And by the way, that reminds me to tell you about Robinhood. So if you go to strammel.info/Robinhood, and that's in the description, that link, you'll get a free stock. And not only will you get a free stock, you'll be able to actually buy and sell stocks and the cryptocurrencies that they have listed for free. No transaction cost whatsoever. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more towards the end of the stream. So don't go anywhere. Hang out here, and we'll talk about Robinhood and kind of compare it to another exchange called Coinbase. But you can see that the 52-week range that's just incredible, right? $134 and up as high as $900. You can see today's range was incredible, a $50 spread, which is pretty amazing. And then their earnings date will be coming up soon as far as reporting earnings. Volume 48 million. 1 year target of 651. That's obviously off. But look at the market cap, 731 billion, almost. It's only 300 billion away from having a market cap of $1 trillion. Pretty incredible. I, like many of you, probably wish that I'd bought Tesla 5-6 years ago. Actually, let's look at the 5-year. So way back in May 1 of 2016, it was $42. Who would have thought, right? I'm sure back then a lot of people gave Tesla no credit, didn't know who they were, knew very little about Elon Musk, and so what an investment that would have been. Actually, what about way back in 2010? $4. Oh my, that would be incredible. Many of us would be millionaires, possibly even billionaires, if we had known and just started putting money in. So we will stop talking about Tesla so that we don't feel sick, actually. Now I want to talk about a cryptocurrency, Dogecoin, and I'll spend a little bit more time on this because this was a pretty incredible ride today. It opened at basically 7.7 cents, and that's pennies. So yes, 7 pennies and 7/10 of another penny. It's really funny that it opened on the previous close. Well, really it never closes, so I don't know how they come up with that. Cryptocurrencies are 24/7, so there's not really an open and close per se. I'm sure every 24 hours they take a snapshot, and that's what they call the open and close. I'm going to show you here in a minute a real-time view of Dogecoin and what it's doing. But the 52-week range, this is again insane. It's 1,000-something%. I don't know what it is, but the 52-week from the lowest it was, which is not even a penny, all the way up to it got really close to 10 today. I guess it's possible it still could get to 10, but it got really close. Started back in 2013 at, what was it? Yeah, 0.0003. Another one that you definitely could have become a millionaire if you had bought some of this a while back, but I'm going to show you how it's still possible potentially today. Depends on how much you're willing to risk, quite honestly, because cryptocurrency inherently are even more risky than your average stock. And so that goes without saying, but I am going to show a model of what you could do with these different stocks that we've been talking about. So I'm going to pull up a spreadsheet that I put together today specifically for this. I think I will make this bigger so it's easier to see. And we're going to start out with NEO. So NEO, again, closed at 38.48 today. And this one in particular, I looked up analyst estimate. And so these numbers with regards to the ending stock price for 2021 at the end of 2022 and at the end of 2023. So December 31st, 2021, with an estimate of $97. That's 152% increase over the closing price as of today. So if you were to invest $1,000 today, or had you invested $1,000 today and paid $38.48 per share, you'd get 26 shares, and your profit would have been $1,522 at the end of the year. 152%. Now that's the amazing thing. That's an incredible return. I know I don't have to tell you, you can't get that in a bank. You can't get that in the S&P 500 index. There's a lot of places you can't get that kind of return. The only shame would be in this particular case if it actually does make it up to $97. You would have wanted to put more money into it. So let's just assume for a minute that you have $5,000 that you can invest. You can see that goes up to 7609, and then we'll just put in one other number, a little bit bigger than maybe some of you would want to go for, but nonetheless, with $20,000 invested, your profit would be $30,000. So you would the sale would be $50,000, but after your cost, then that's $30,437 in profit. Now, the one thing I'm not taking into account here is any commissions. So, just keep that in mind. You'd have to figure that part out, but that's 520 shares. So that's as far as we'll take this in 2021. If we bought and hold at 38.48, maybe you add to your position over time, but let's assume for a moment that your average cost is still going to be $38.40, and at the end of December 2022, $5,000 invested, this is what you would get. $16,438. So that's a whopping 328% increase, which is, again, just insane and crazy. $5,000 spent, $16,000 profit. Not a bad 2 years at the office, right? It's more than a day at the office, but it's 2 years. You'd have 130 shares as well. So the cost is on all of these is assuming $38.48. And honestly, it would really not matter when you bought that, as long as you bought it at $38.48, and as long as it ended at $164.99, that would be your return. but this is the progression that the analyst is predicting, if you will, or giving guidance on for 2021 and then 2022. So for 2022, let's just assume for a minute the same 20,000, and then it gets really interesting, $65,000 profit. Okay, we'll leave it at that with regards to the modeling for 2022. Now, if we go to 2023, and let's start at $5,000 here, that's 130 shares. You're making $25,000. Again, presumably, you made this investment today, and it's now, 2.5 years later, or however long that would be. It's December 31st, 2023, one day before New Year's, and you've got a healthy little $25,000 in profit, 502% increase. Now, if we get really play some fun with money and possibilities, $50,000 invested in 2021 in the next few days, holding until the end of 2023, paying $38 a share. That's almost 1,300 shares. $50,000 invested. You're walking away with $250,000. Not bad. So if you're interested at all, and if you're making, I'm going to go back to the comments here in just a second, so hang with me. But if you're interested maybe in getting this spreadsheet to do some modeling of your own, more than happy to send it out. It's not that complicated, but nonetheless, it would save you a little bit of work. So let's now go to Palantir. And actually what I'm going to do real quick is go back, and I'm going to check and see if we have comments. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the screen here, and let's talk through Palantir. So Palantir, again, as I mentioned, is they focus on government contracts, security, database type information, all those kind of cool things. I'll make this a little bit bigger as well, so it's easier to see. Let's make it one more bigger, and let's look at Palantir again. It ended at 25.42 today. These numbers are just some of my own. I did not get these from an analyst or anything, so it's just purely modeling, looking at what the possibilities are. So take this with a grain of salt, put in your own numbers if you use the spreadsheet, whatever. But let's assume for a moment that at the end of 2021 that it's up to $45 a share. And if you invested, we'll start out with 1,000 again, and then we'll go from there. But $1,000 invested, 39 shares, you're looking at $770 in profit, 77%. That's still an amazing return. You're not going to retire off of this, but that's an amazing return for in a year. Much, much better place for your money than savings accounts, CD, probably better than most of your mutual funds, that type of thing. I would recommend that you look at the ETF ARKK if you want something that's somewhat diversified. It's diversified in the sense that it's multiple companies, but it is in disruptive technologies. So it is, investing in the cream of the crop with regards to those companies that are on the tip of the spear in technology, that type of thing. So let's take this up to, let's say you have $10,000 that you're able to invest. And this one's pretty easy. It's just instead of $700, it's $7,000, still 77%. So that's cool. One more we'll do. Let's assume that you've got $50,000 laying around. Again, the same percentage increase because my original cost and the new value hasn't changed. It's just that with a larger quantity, obviously my return or my profit is more, but $38,000. So that's pretty nice. So let's move on to, in this particular case, the end of December 2022, end of the year, and you've got $30,000 to invest. You're looking at a much better profit, almost double, or maybe it's exactly double. It's close to double anyway, because the new value is $90 a share. So it's gone up. It's doubled, right? 45 is 90. So it is doubled in price, and that's a 254% increase. So hang with me. I'm going to show you some real live or real-time stuff on Dogecoin here as we wrap this up at some point here soon. But let's go ahead and go for Palantir for 2023. We're going big here. $75,000 invested, presumably in 2021, when the stock was still at 25, when it was still at $25 a share. You're looking at $426,000. That's basically, that's almost $500,000. Not bad. Could take that and do a lot of things with it, reinvest it, keep it out there. If just, for craziness sake, let's assume that Palantir is at 300. Yeah, you're close to $1 million at that point, 810. We're talking about, legacy returns here, generational ability to, have wealth and resources and ability to serve your world and your community for generations. But we're also talking about $75,000 and risk, of course. So I'm not suggesting that, I absolutely am not suggesting if you had $75,000 in savings that you take it all out and put it in one stock, in the least. Actually, what we're going to talk about next is what I would suggest that you not take everything either, but invest more in Dogecoin. So now we're going to move on to Dogecoin and talk through those scenarios. Now, Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency. It's about, I think, 5 or 6 years old, and it's been, again, very, very popular. We're going to assume with this model that it's at 9 cents. It's been hovering around 9 cents, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, up to 9.5 today. It started out in the 7s, so 7.5, something along those lines. It started out at that today. It's currently at 9. Again, cryptocurrencies like foreign exchange, Forex, is traded 24/7, 365 for the most part. I think major holidays like Easter, Christmas, New Year, that type of thing, there are a few days where this market is closed down, but for the most part, it's 24/7, weekends, everything. So actually, from what I hear, is it sees some of its greatest gains sometime if you're in the U.S. in the early hours of the morning, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So that's interesting. I don't plan on getting up or staying up that late to see anytime soon, but by all means you should, and then come back and let me know. So we're going to start out at 2,000 here, amount invested, and I got a typo there. So we're going to fix that because that kind of bothers me. And then we will talk through it. Okay, so 2,000 invested gives you 22,222 shares. I should say coins, really. again at a cost of $2,000. If you sell that at $1, so we're starting right away at $1. It's probably going to be at 10 cents pretty quick. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's start out at 50 cents. Okay. So $2,000 invested at 50 cents. So it's about to hit 10. So we're looking at a 40 cent, up push on that. That's 455% increase, which is, again, crazy, insane, out of this world. And so you're looking at a profit of $911. Now, I recommend, especially on Dogecoin, most cryptocurrencies, that you buy and then buy and then buy. So when there's a dip, buy some more. Maybe every once in a great while take a profit so that you can reinvest and have more. I did that today. So I took some profit on Dogecoin, and then I waited for it to dip down a little bit, enough where I could basically turn around and reinvest that money and incrementally gain more Dogecoin. So that's what I did. So let's be a little bit more aggressive here, even in this year. So let's assume for a minute that you have $10,000 that you can invest, and let's see what it could possibly do before the end of the year. Incredible difference, right? $10,000 invested, we're talking $45,000 profit. Now let's assume that it has gone up, which I think is actually possible. Many people are talking about the possibility of $1 by the end of the year. Many people didn't think it would get to 10 cents, but well, it hasn't yet. But given today's ride, and if someone like Elon Musk tweets again about it, it's likely to go up. Another thing that you should know, another cryptocurrency exchange called Coinbase is going public tomorrow, and a lot of analysts are assuming that if Coinbase decides to put Dogecoin on their exchange, that's going to also positively impact the price per coin of Dogecoin. In other words, cause it to go up. So let's put in $1 here, and that's a drastic improvement, right? 1,000% increase, $101,000 in profit. Okay, let's move on to the end of December 2022. We're assuming there $5 per coin target. Have no idea if it has the ability to get there or not. It's possible. Anything's possible. But let's assume for a minute that it is. This is what's incredible. $20,000 invested. If it makes it to $5 in the next year and a half, it's a little bit over a year and a half, you're looking at that 1 million mark. That's totally out of this world. And so that's what you're looking at. I mean, it is what it is, right? So let's do 40,000 just for kicks. So at 40,000, you're looking at 2 million. Now this could tank and go back to where it started at 0.003. So keep that in mind. I love looking at big numbers. I love dreaming. I love thinking about the possibilities, all of that. But, this is your money that you're working with, that you're dealing with. It's not mine. So keep that top of mind and make sure that you have thought it through considerably. You may want to work your way up to that type of thing. But that's totally mind-boggling, right? Okay, so let's move to the end of 2023. Let's assume that it was able to get up to $10. And oh, by the way, don't let these are just scenarios. This could be 2027, and what I'm about to show you would still be amazing, right? You could take a little bit of profit along the way and still take your first million out of the system, if you want to say it that way, and put it in something that is no risk whatsoever, and then you would still have 4 million to work with, or maybe you take 2 out and then you have 3. Do what you want to do. But let's look at, so this is 50,000, right? At $10 a share. Let's just do something crazy and put in $100,000 invested. What are we talking about here? $11 million. I'm not saying you need $11 million. I'm not saying you need $1 million. I'm not saying you need 500,000. There's no way that probably anyone looking at this needs. This is not about what you need. This is about what is possible. And then you get to determine what you would do with $11 million. My recommendation is do a bunch of amazing things with it, in the world. Helping those less fortunate, all those kind of things. But I don't get to tell you or presume to tell you what to do with your money. But I would say do good things with it. Don't hoard it. Don't use it all on yourself, and don't even use it all on those most close to you. Spread it out. That would be my recommendation, at least. So I will say, since we're talking some big numbers, once we get here, or even at $20,000, that's still $1 million. At those levels, that's a lot of money for most people. That's a lot of money for me. Half of that's a lot of money for me. So, I just want to say that it's not about the money. The love of money, yes, is the root of all evil, but money and the pursuit of money in balance, there's nothing wrong with it. So I only share that for those that know me really, really well, to make sure that I haven't gone off of the deep end and just going for all of this money. Now, I would like to at some point retire, quote unquote. I don't honestly believe that we should ever fully retire. I think it's helpful that we continue to contribute to society, but if we can retire from what we, quote unquote, have to do, and then move into the realm of doing what we're called to do, then I think that's a great place to be. So you don't have to make a bunch of money to do that, but money is the way that most economies work. It is the way that we eat. It's the way that we have clothing on our back. It's the way that we have a home, all those things. And, at some point we have enough, but other people in the world need those same kinds of things. So, and then the last thing I was going to say, it almost escaped me, but I'm of the opinion that the more money you get should only amplify who you already are. So if you're already, someone that's vain, I'm just going to say it, then more money is just going to make your vanity that much more visible. If you're very generous, if you are a person that loves to share, loves to give, loves to do great things and amazing things for others, then that's going to also be amplified and more visible in your life as well. And those around you that know you and those that don't know you yet, but will come to know you either in a positive way or a negative way because of your money, they'll see it too. So what I want to do now is briefly show you a ticker, if you will, that shows you what Doge is doing right now. Now, I'm sorry, Benjamin, that you didn't hang around, but Benjamin says, howdy, hey, Benjamin, thanks for joining. I'm sorry I didn't see your comment earlier. I'm sharing a bunch of different screens, and I'm using StreamYard, by the way, so it's really cool if you want to live stream. And Benjamin also says buy and hold. Yes, I completely agree. I assume you're talking about Dogecoin, maybe, maybe not, but I completely agree with the buy and hold concept. A couple of different reasons. Since you mentioned it, I'll say some of those. I think for one, there's tax implications of buying and selling. It's treated like a property, gold, silver, that type of thing, a home, cryptocurrency, that is. So there is a implication on selling it or using it to buy something. Now, buying the actual currency, there is no tax event when you do that. But when you sell it or when you use it to transact, there are tax impacts. So you just have to, for one, track that. Don't lose sight of that, because you're going to have to report it. And if you don't report it properly on your tax form, from my understanding, it's potentially a felony. Lots of civil penalties, if you will, on with regards to taxes. But this one definitely covers a felony charge with it. The other reason that you want to buy and hold is, you want to be in a position where you can just let it grow. You want to be in a position where it dips, and unless we're talking about massive gains, you want to be in a position where you can buy more when it dips down at certain times, so that your average cost goes down, which means that your profit ultimately is more. So that's that. And then the other reason you want to buy and hold instead of selling is you want to try to get those profits in the category of long-term capital gains versus short-term capital gains. I believe the long-term capital gains, and check with your accountant on this, or your lawyer, whoever does your taxes. But I think long-term capital gains is 15%. That's much more attractive than, let's say, 23%, 33%, something along those lines. So be smart. Think about investment in all the different aspects. Yes, it's probably appropriate at times to take some profit, but my recommendation, at least, especially with Dogecoin, really with any of these stocks that I've talked about tonight, or the currencies that I've talked about tonight, I would suggest that you take a long view on those. So now I want to bring up and show you Dogecoin in real time. So hold on just a second while I pull it up. All right, so what I have here is Robinhood. And so as you can see here, I've got it turned on the live mode. So Dogecoin right now is at 0.091121. And it's been in the 9-cent range most of the day. And you can see up there, if you're interested, you can go to Robinhood. And I'll actually pull up the banner again as well. But if you go to strammel.info/Robinhood, you can get a free stock. And I'll get a free stock, so I'll be honest about that. And then you can start trading, hopefully just buying cryptocurrency without any transaction fees. So you can buy and sell without transaction fees. Any of the stocks that they have on there, whether it's cryptocurrencies or equities, you can buy and sell without any commissions, any transaction fees. Transfer money in. You get $1,000 of spending while that's being transferred. So up to $1,000. So let's say you transfer $1,000. No, let's say you transfer $1,500. You can use $1,000 of that immediately without it even being coming and clearing. And then I think it's normally 3 to 5 business days that will clear, and then the other 500 you would be able to use. Now, if you sell something, that full value is available to you immediately to use to buy something else. So I've used Robinhood now for a month, which is crazy. Can't believe how fast time flies, but mostly Dogecoin. I have some Ethereum. I had some Tesla, but I took the $56 and took my profit on that and bought more Dogecoin. And I do have Neo, but I've got that on my TD Ameritrade account. You can get Neo on Robinhood, and I just went ahead because I had some stock in TD Ameritrade. It was quicker to just sell that and then turn around and reinvest that into Neo on that platform. But probably, most likely, in the future, I'll probably just transact and buy more Neo on Robinhood. TD Ameritrade, that particular transaction on Neo was free as well. There wasn't any commission or transaction costs. So a lot of your brokerage firms now, I think like E-Trade, I'm guessing Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, many of those have buckled under pressure, if you will, because there's been this disruption in the market with free transactions from Robinhood and others. So your more traditional stock companies, trading companies have also implemented zero commissions as well. So they get you in other ways, but if you're mostly just buying or mostly just selling and don't need a lot of other services, then you can save a considerable amount of money depending on how you get things. So I had that on live, and it wasn't updating, I think, because I had typed something into the bar where you put in a URL. So, but again, there's the link, strammel.info/Robinhood. Go get an account there. You do have to, set up a bank so that you can fund your account. But I'm not sure if the minimum is $100. I don't even think the minimum is $100. But you can literally buy a fractional Bitcoin. We didn't talk about any of these other ones tonight, but I highly recommend Cardano, ADA, but you can't buy ADA on Robinhood, so you'd have to go find that somewhere else like Coinbase. Binance, I've heard really good things about. I can't actually use that because of where I live. Robinhood, I think, is the best, especially for Dogecoin. So go check out Robinhood and let me know what you think. So want everyone to come back on Wednesday night for episode 85. Can you believe that'll be at that point only 15 days left until we've gone live for 100 days straight. So we're excited about that and do want you to come back. We are doing a giveaway. It won't be long before we'll start that. And we want you to be a part of it. So come back tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night we'll be able to start sharing some of the details around getting in on that giveaway, but we're giving away these Flex watches. We've got 3 of them, different colors, black and white mostly, but we want you to win one of them. All right, good night.